Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Frantic Nerdcast, episode number 48.
2 more to go to the big 5-0.
The big 5-0 indeed. The knees are creaking. The back's aching.
Here I was just thinking that was from wicketkeeping on the weekend.
I don't think I could get down anymore.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do it.
It's got to the point now where I have we've got someone else that can wicket-keep. So if we bowl first, I'll only do the first 20 and they can keep the 15. So I'm somewhat fresh to go and open the batting.
In all honesty, cricket's probably the sport for me because you just stand around and do fucking nothing and drink beer.
When in the league we do, exactly that.
Yeah, that's the sport. No,
We bring in Esky, drinks are cheap, drink it on the field, just don't let the ball hit it.
I can almost guarantee the first game that you play, you'll be put in a position where you're just fucking running backwards and forwards chasing a ball because it'll just be one of those days.
I'd let the ball roll past me.
Yeah, you have to put him somewhere close where he might drop a ball, but at least he's not going to cost you too many runs.
I would take one of those, those really low hanging, those really low fold out seats, where the arse is nearly on the ground. I'd just take one of them and just sit out in the outfield.
Oh, God.
There is a invention we've seen before where it's just like a sling, but you fit all the beers in it. It's like it's a thermal sort of thing. Yeah. That's what he'd have on there with him.
100%.
So that way he'd have 6 beers per drinks break.
And so, what have we been up to besides that? Anything fun since the last episode? Anyone done anything fun and frantic-y?
Not really.
I've
been very busy.
I've had a dumbass moment that only I could have.
Inform us, please.
So League of Legends, obviously was playing a few games with my mates the other night, and then somehow my computer has stopped allowing League of Legends to work. I can log on, I can load Champion Select and get ready for a game, and I do not load in.
Is that because you had a VPN on?
No. AJ's breaking the mic.
Apologies to everybody's ears just now.
It's going to be a Frantic Nerdcast episode without some technical difficulties.
Might have to cut that part out.
I've got no idea. It's still not worked. Put a ticket in with League, and they're like, try these firewall settings we have on our page, and clicked on it, and 404 not found. So I don't know. Uninstalled, reinstalled. My computer doesn't like to play League of Legends anymore.
There goes our dream of
that's disappointing.
Doing a Let's Play.
Your computer was that scared of us playing.
Yeah, it just quit. It ran away. So I have to spend some quality time trying to fix that.
Fair enough.
As I said, it's only a problem that can happen to me.
Naturally.
It's not a normal person problem.
I watched 15 more minutes of Penguin.
Oh,
so yes. I did it.
Nice.
And then I enjoyed it that much that I almost finished episode 1.
Just watch the fucking show.
I think I've got about 3 or 4 minutes left in episode 1.
I want to talk about it so fucking badly.
Episode 1, you can talk about it up until like the last 3 minutes.
On another note, we have finished our painting of miniatures. They are sitting down the front, out of focus for those of you at home on the YouTubes.
If I pull them back, will they be in focus?
Nah, it's fine. They're fine. You can tell they're little Supermans. So we're going to post them on the Instagram, on the Facebooks, and we're going to have like a little poll, and you guys can vote for which one is your favourite.
Indeed.
And then the winner will be showered in glory, and the losers will be ridiculed.
Naturally.
And are we picking our next model to paint tonight?
I guess we will be, yes.
Yeah, excellent.
And
stay tuned.
There is a hint as to whose is whose. If you go back a couple of episodes, you may be able to pick out whose is whose. We won't give you that hint again. You have to go back and listen to episodes if you want to hear it. But yes, they will be posted on the Instagram and on the Facebook.
And the criteria for it is not what you think necessarily is the best paint job, just the one you like the most.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
for whatever reason.
Which will be the best paint job.
Base might look good.
It's possible. That means I'm winning on all counts.
All right, fair enough. For the one that said, no, don't do a textured base. Okay, no worries.
Don't give hints away.
I didn't. There's all have textured bases.
They do. Okay, so let's just jump on into what we're going to be talking about tonight. So first up, I believe we have a little movie review of a movie that we've been trying to get Zachary to watch for a while now.
It wasn't that big of a thing.
It's a huge thing, mate.
3 weeks?
Yeah, it's not that long.
I've watched Brave.
I'm just trying to make it sound exciting, Zach. Fuck.
I've watched Brave.
Do we want some rumours first?
Sure.
I've only got 2.
Oh, okay, let's go rumours. So, sorry, ignore that, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks,
Zach can wait a little bit even longer.
Well, we need to hype him up again now, don't we?
So my first one, I got shared this from Shannon and Matt, who are friends of the show. We've talked about them many a times. It's a lovely little poster of the Avengers Grimm. It's like an Avengers theme thing, and and it says like coming out in 2025 and all this blah blah blah. But it's actually like an AI generated image. But this movie does exist. It came out in 2015, and it is. I wouldn't bless it with the terminology of a B grade film. This is fucking horrible. And it's when Rumpelstiltskin destroys the magic mirror and escapes the modern world, the four princesses, Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, Snow White, and Rapunzel, are sucked through the portal to the four women now have to save Earth. Casper Van Dien from Starship Troopers fame and not much else plays Rumpelstiltskin. And we got Lauren Parkinson as Snow White, Lou Ferrigno, who some might know as the original Hulk.
Yes.
He's playing Iron John. Millen Sarli is Cinderella. Mara Fairclough as Sleeping Beauty, and Rila Vanderbilt as Rapunzel. So some, big names there. It's bad.
It doesn't look good.
Yeah, no, it's bad. If you want to put on a bad movie and just sit there and laugh the whole time, don't put this on. But yeah, so yeah, that's.
I'm going to follow that up with another bad movie. Just this might have been mentioned before, but I just want to say it just for AJ. The Epic Universe expands Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon franchise to get Rebel Moon 3.
Yeah,
that's always been in the works. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, either way, I just. Yeah, usually mention Rebel Moon and it gets him worked up.
Well, see, it was all originally meant to be connected to his zombie universe, like his Army of the Dead.
I thought it was meant to be connected to his Star Wars film he wanted to do.
Well, no, it was his Star Wars film, and then he redone as his own, but it's all based in the same universe as the Army one, Army of the Dead, and Army of Thieves.
Yep.
Army of the Dead, the zombies are actually caused by aliens. If you watch the first few frames of the movie, when the truck's driving down the highway, you actually see the UFO through the sky go.
Okay. And there's another callback in one or the other where you see some of the guys on the ground in the ship or vice versa, something like that. I can't remember what it was. But yeah,
but it's all meant to be, because it was meant to be a whole cartoon for the Army of the Dead things, and then it's all time travel. There's so much stuff he wanted to do, but it's pretty much flunked, so that Netflix said no, go away.
I'm happy. I brought the room up for a different reason, but we got a good conversation, so it works. All right, over to you, Brock.
Red One earned $10.92 million on its domestic box office opening day.
This came out a lot earlier than I thought it would.
And everyone fucking was bagging it, and it's made a butt ton of money.
No, it's made nothing. $10 million. It had a budget of $250 million.
It won box office for the week.
For the week?
Yeah.
I don't know where my little things come from, because I only got this the other day, and there mustn't have been much going on at box office that weekend.
I just think it came out too soon. Like, I think it's Christmas related. It's need to be released a bit closer.
When I seen because we did the trailer for it a while back, and it, for all intents, it looked kind of fun.
I'm keen to see it.
Most people are just over the rock, I think.
Yeah, which is fair enough.
I just didn't know it was coming out already. I thought I was waiting for it to come out in December or something, so that's why I haven't seen it yet.
Fair. I had a weird thing in my head just then that it was already December.
Not quite.
It's close, but
it's about 10 days, something like that. 20 days.
Something like that.
Well, I'm going to go while AJ's still trying to find something, again, we've already kind of spoken about. But The Last Ronin for the Turtles, it's now in pre-production.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
What is it called? There's a new Nintendo 64 coming out.
Seen that. Doesn't have the 64 controller. I don't want it.
It's
no, I don't want it.
Yeah, I know, but you can use the 64 cartridges in it.
I read the comments on that. Everyone was bagging the 64, saying it wasn't that good of a console. I fucking stand to correct them.
No, neck bids. No, neck bids.
I reckon,
and it's returning in 2025 with 4K,
$250.
Yeah, I know, it's cheap as shit.
Yep. What do you got, Brock? You done yours?
No. I go back to other ones. Mysterious Spider-Verse logo is being set up in Chelsea, New York. Some fans are speculating that it may be for a Beyond the Spider-Verse announcement. Fingers crossed.
I want it.
Apparently, there was a whole heap of there's a whole heap of stuff for Deadpool and Wolverine that the deleted scenes they were going to try and show that he was in the MCU the whole time. He just didn't see him in the scenes. They were all on the cutting room floor. Deadpool and Wolverine, executive producer. Blah blah blah. And so essentially, they were going to superimpose him in all these major scenes, but then they all got deleted from those movies.
Okay,
have him in the background like waving or something.
That would have been fun.
I've got one more then. So Jared Butler reveals his costume as Hiccup's dad in the live-action How to Train Your Dragon.
The trailer came out.
It's going to weigh 90 pounds.
The trailer came out today.
I didn't realize the trailer was out. I'd seen a few.
I saw a lot of sneak peeks.
It's like a sneak peek trailer, but it's from all the shots look like exact copies of the show.
Yeah, which is
and it's funny because you look at Hiccup, and in that, and I'm like, it looked weird. It kind of looks fan-madey, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
It doesn't look Hollywood produced. It looks fan-made, but I think just because the CGI was so good in the original movies, it kind of makes the real version look fake, if that makes sense.
I get what you're saying.
Okay, what else have we got? Maddie Klein is reportedly being considered for a role in Spider-Man 4. Maddie Klein is the main female in what's that show on Netflix called? The one where they're young kids and they get the treasure? Outer Banks.
Oh, yeah.
What else have we got?
Here we go. Jake Paul, age 27, will fight Aragorn to Heir of Isildur, 210 at the foothills of Ered Lithu on March 25th, 2025, live on Hulu.
I've got another one, which I'm not sure if is correct or not, but I actually think is a pretty good role. In the Palpatine, a Star Wars story, it's got Tom Hiddleston down to play Senator Palpatine.
I think it's one of those.
I think that's one of like a fan made I wish things, but I don't mind that.
There was a bunch of Hiddleston ones kicking around over like about 3 or 4 months ago.
Now that Kevin Smith has the rights to Dogma back, he is confirmed that he's currently working on a sequel to his 1999 film, and he expects Ben Affleck and Matt Damon to both return to the project.
Nice.
Anime is officially more popular than sports in the United States of America, according to a recent poll.
I'm not surprised at that, to be honest.
What else we got?
So that makes sense considering more sports people are getting into anime. So you're getting that crossover.
Alan Tudyk has been cast as the voice of Clayface in James Gunn's DCU.
Yep.
Which I'm all for.
Yeah, fine.
And I think Tom Hardy's Splinter Cell movie has been canned.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that was. No. That's it for me.
All right. Last one for me. The truth is almost all of Peacemaker is canon with the exception of Justice League, which we will kind of deal with in the next season of Peacemaker, promised James Gunn.
Which is coming out. There's a release date for that. I have it here. August 2025.
Nice.
We'll release 1 month after Superman.
Very good.
There you go. So I'm gathering it will deal with something out of Superman. Okay, so back to Brave.
All right, here it is. So this is the yet-to-be-named segment of the show where AJ and Brock give me a movie, because I'm a Philistine and haven't watched many things, to review and give my thoughts on.
I think that's the biggest word that have been used on this podcast.
Naturally.
Yeah. All right, go for it, mate.
It's tier 3 word. I can go into the etymology of it if you want.
No.
Don't ask me to because I don't know it. So I watched Brave on the weekend.
2 big words.
I know, I was about to say another big word.
I watched Brave. Enjoyed it. So I have a few
Good
takes.
review. And let's move on.
Right, next.
Well, I'll say enjoyed it. Don't think it's anywhere near my top 5.
Really?
Yeah. I'd have to think about the top 5, but
yeah, what I'd be interested to know what your top 5 is.
I know my clear number 1 is by far and away not. To me, it shits all over every other one, and to most people, you'll go, Zach, you're an idiot. But for me, it will always be my number 1, and that is the original Pete's Dragon.
Fair enough.
I don't think I've ever seen Pete's Dragon.
Really? Wow.
I think it was just that was my movie as a kid growing up. Enjoyed it, loved it, got the songs in it.
It's one of the early live action with cartoon imposed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know the one you're talking about.
I refused to watch the second one because I didn't want it to crush my takes on the original. So I haven't watched it yet. But no,
Yeah, I know the one. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but Brave. Yes, I really enjoyed it. Liked the storyline, but it said it follows that typical storyline of girl does something wrong, causes the problem, has to go and fix the problem, reunites with mum, everyone lives happily ever after.
Yeah, but it's the way it's told.
Yeah, no, it's good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I just don't hold it in probably the opinion that you two do. Enjoyed it. I'm not rushing out to watch it again or relate it to other people, but enjoyed it. The three boys were by far the standout for me.
Love the brothers.
Love the brothers.
are fucking phenomenal.
And the witch when we meet her in the wood carving scene of by this bear. No, this bear is unique. I meet this bear. That was pretty funny.
Yep.
Enjoyed it. Don't regret watching it, but yeah,
Did you see the cameos?
Probably not.
In the witch's house, there's cars.
Yeah. I thought you meant like actors cameos or something. I was like, no, I missed them.
The Pixar plants.
Yeah.
Thoroughly enjoyed Billy.
They're always fun.
Thoroughly enjoyed Billy Connolly as the dad. He was always fun. But yeah, I'd probably give it, if I give it a PAX rating, about 6.
Okay.
All right, that's fair enough. That's just
AJ's soul.
my soul's
broken.
crushed.
I know. As I watched it, I don't know. It was good.
Cool.
That's it.
That's it. All right. That's all you got to talk about. Fine. Cool. Whatever.
I was waiting for more back and forth from you saying I was an idiot.
No. If you don't like it, you don't like it.
Exactly.
It's my favourite Pixar movie, but I wouldn't say it's the best storyline on earth, but it's still my favourite Pixar movie.
I would, of the newer ones, I would put, I can't remember what it's
called. Most of the new
now.
ones are fucking shit anyway.
No, I enjoyed one that came to Disney where it's got Chris Pratt in it. Old mate's taking his dad with the fucking just the legs. Onward or something. Yeah, I really enjoyed that storyline. That was cool.
Is that Disney? Is it? Was that Pixar? I thought that was DreamWorks.
No, it came straight to Disney Plus.
Oh, it went to the movies.
No, it didn't. I don't think it did.
Yeah, it came out of the movies. That one. That's been out for a long time. It's Onward.
Yeah, Disney Pixar. Onward.
There you go. I didn't realize it was Pixar. I thought it was DreamWorks.
I haven't actually watched it.
I enjoyed that one. All right. So, do I have another movie to watch?
Doesn't
necessarily have to be Disney.
Say.
Oh, I have another one that I probably should watch.
What's that?
And this is ruining the segment already with me choosing the movie, but 28 days later.
Oh, you definitely need to see
100%.
that before the new one's coming out.
Okay.
28 days and 28 weeks.
Yeah.
All right.
28 days later, you'll watch it and you'll be like, why am I watching this horribly filmed movie? Like it's like bad quality because it's all shot on handy cam.
Yeah.
It's shaky, but it's a good movie.
All right.
Reinvented the zombie.
I will watch that one in the next month.
All right.
Marvelous.
I'm gonna talk about some anime, and it's my favorite anime,
Why are you singing?
Gundam.
Why are you singing?
Because I felt like singing.
Because he's happy and it's his favorite.
So Gundam is my favorite. Not my favorite anime, or my favorite one is Robotech by far because it's just my childhood anime.
Yep.
But this is like my favorite encompassing franchise just because there is so fucking much in this thing. So I'm just going to give a little brief rundown of a little bit of the history and stuff like that, and then I'll talk through all the different universes because it can get a bit confusing for people who have never come into the Gundam world, which I don't think either of you have partaken in the Gundam world.
I have not.
What's going on with our microphones today? Okay, so Gundam was created by, Yoshiko Tomina and Sunrise, which is now owned by Bandai Entertainment, on April 7th, 1979.
Oh, shit. I
So
thought it was later than that.
She old. The popularity of the series and its merchandise spawned a franchise that includes over 50 TV series and films and OVAs, as well as a metric fuck ton of manga, novels, video games, and as well as the world's leading plastic model kits, Gundam Gunplas.
Yep.
Which later on became known as Gunpla.
The manga's any good?
It makes up 90% of the Japanese character plastic model kits.
Shit.
That's how popular Gunpla is in Japan and as also is throughout the rest of the world now. As of March 2020, the franchise is fully owned by Bandai Namco now through subsidiaries, Sunrise, blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
The Gundam franchise has grossed over $5 billion in retail sales by the year 2000, By 2022, the annual revenue of the Gundam franchise reached 101.7 billion yen, which is around 1 billion Australian per year, and about 44.2 billion yen of that, so 500 million Australian, of which is just retail sales of toys and hobbies.
Wow.
A year.
Wow.
So they're making 1 bill a year just on this property. The Yatate team, combined when they were coming up with the name for it. Originally, it was called something else, and like the first season was all about like they called everything freedom this, freedom that, and I'll get into what it is in a second. But they originally took the English word for gun. And then the last syllables of freedom and combined them to make Gundam, which then later was changed to Gundam, suggesting a unit wielding a gun powerful enough to hold back enemies while hydroelectric dam holding back water.
Creating freedom through holding big guns.
Yep.
Runs.
So the original show was called Mobile Suit Gundam.
Yep.
It came out, as I said, I think like 79, 80. And it was based around people living in outer space, and they were called new types, and they live in colonies in outer space. It was praised for its research in how these people would live in these rotating, floating things, blah, blah, blah. And it's the main series is based around these new types and humans fighting, essentially. And it turns into a thing called the 1 Year War, which is a 1 year war. But then this was then titled the Universal Century because later series would come out and become under different banners because they're not in that universe.
I think I've heard you mention this on the podcast before. Yeah, so other storylines come out, and if they didn't want it to be canon, it was just in a different universe, and therefore it didn't really matter.
So you've got the Universal Century, which is your biggest one. It has like your Mobile Suit Gundam, has ZZ Zeta, Gundam Z, Unicorn, lots of different ones, and it spans over like thousands of years, kind of thing. Like one's way back then, one's based during UC 0079, which is when the war happens, kind of thing, when the main series starts. So Universal Century is where most of it is. It's where the 1 Year War between Earth and Zeon factions happen. That's the one where the new Netflix show is based, the CGI one that was on Netflix. It just came out a couple of weeks ago. Then you've got the Future Century, which is the weirdest out of all of them. This is where Mobile Fighter G Gundam is based. This one is wars are now, there's no wars on Earth anymore. All disputes are settled via this Gundam battle that happens, I think it was once a year from now. It's been a long time since I watched this one. But every country has a Gundam that represents them. And there are some fucking, like Holland's Gundam has a fucking windmill on its chest. And there's some fucking weird shit.
It's the Gundam World Cup, basically.
Yeah, it's weird as fuck, man. It's entertaining as hell. It's the most, at that point, was the most kiddie one. Kid-friendly, kind of weird, over the, like that and Japanese anime style kind of thing.
Can I ask a question before you move on? Explain what a Gundam is.
So Gundams are different in each iteration of the show generally. So Universal Century, they are all the same thing. So,
so if you were to explain the quintessential Gundam, what is that?
Well, so your main Gundam that everyone knows is the RX-78. So essentially in the main storyline in the Universal Century, units have these things which are essentially humanoid tanks. They're big robotic things. Pilots get inside of them, and they're called mobile suits. Zeon have some. Earth Federation have some, and they use them to fight. But then the Gundam comes into the picture, and it's like a super AI machine-y version of it, which only specific people can pilot because the reaction times are too quick for it and all this kind of stuff. And that's your main thing. And they all have little fucking horn things on their heads, and they're blue and white, and throughout every series, they all have that same thing, but they're all different sort of shapes and stuff. But that's basically what they are. They're just giant humanoid tanks.
Right. So moving into something more related, like Pacific Rim, like we brought up earlier.
Pretty much the Jaegers.
Okay, yep.
The Jaegers, that's where he got a lot of his inspiration from for that. There's no giant kaijus in this, though, unfortunately. So Future Century, robots fighting, funny, great. After Colony / Mars Century, this is where Gundam Wing is based. Now, Gundam Wing is one of the most important Gundam series that was ever made because it was the first series that introduced Western culture to Gundam, really. So back in those days, obviously VHS, etc. It was pretty hard to get, no internet. It's pretty hard to get Japanese stuff over there in Western culture. Cartoon Network had their Toonami block, which used to be like action sort of style, like more adult orientated cartoons, and they put Gundam Wing on it. And it fucking blew up. And pretty much everyone in the Western world went, we want Gundam stuff, give us all the Gundam stuff. And it just went mental and everything soared. So Gundam Wing, yes, it's classed as in Western culture, like the one. And it's basically the after colony timeline involves a space colony struggling for freedom from the Earth-based organizations such as United Earth Sphere Alliance and the Organization of the Zodiac. And the Gundams were built as a way of defending the plight of the colonies to escape oppression. Essentially, the series follows 5 terrorists coming to Earth, trying to fuck up Earth. That's pretty much the series. It's awesome, really, really good. Some awesome fucking Gundam designs. It's a really good fun one. It's not my favorite one personally, but it's one to watch if you want to kind of get into anime.
I was going to say,
into Gundam.
And then that would be my next question is, so obviously there is so much Gundam out there to watch, as you said, over 50 TV shows and movies. What would be the series to start with? I'll
get to that once I've kind of gone through a lot more because, so that one's a good one. Then you've got the After War universe, which is set in a post-apocalyptic world and has many similarities to the Universal Century. This one features new types, blah, blah, blah. It's good, forgettable. The correct century is one called Turner Gundam. For 2,000 years, a separate race of humanity lived in the moon, known as the Moon Race. Their technology is leaps and bounds, so they've got the mobile suits. Earth and stuff don't. They come and try and invade Earth, essentially. But there's some kids there who sort of like, oh, we find this ancient mobile suit. We impale it. It's kind of a cross between Zoids and Gundam, this one. It was okay. It was good. Weird animation style, but the Gundam has a mustache.
Oh, that's a win.
Yeah, he's got like a big white.
That's a win.
Crescent moon mustache, which is entertaining. Cosmic Era is my personal favorite. So pretty much all of them have this. Like every series has a war. It's all war, and it's how war affects everything. So all the series have something to do with war. This one I personally think encompasses it the best, and this is the Cosmic Era, and this has the Gundam Seed franchise, which has the best Gundams, in my opinion. It has the Freedom, the Justice. Oh, they're so good. It has great characters. There's Gundam Seed Destiny, both 50-episode series. And it's just, the story in it is just phenomenal. And that's the one I recommend people jump into and watch.
Yep.
Because has similarities to the original Mobile Suit, but the animation is newer animation. It's crisp. It's not badly dubbed, all that kind of stuff. Like your old animes, obviously it was made in the 80s. It's going to not be great. That one's phenomenal. Then you got Enno Domini universe, which is Gundam 00, which is another good one. It's about
7.
Again, it's about terrorists in their Gundam suits trying to take down businesses. It took me a second as well. There's a couple more which I won't go over. One of the newer ones is called the Adstella universe, and this is called Mobile Suit Gundam: The Witch from Mercury. And this one is about a young girl from Mercury who gets enrolled in a Gundam school for mobile suit pilots, and she's there. And Gundams have been outlawed because they were used by witches, and essentially they're like super technology and blah blah blah. They send people crazy and kill people, blah blah blah. But she has a Gundam, and she's in the school, and this one's all about businesses and how businesses have corrupted everything and all that kind of stuff. It's 12 episodes per season, 2 seasons. Very, very entertaining. The main character is an idiot, and it's hilarious the whole time. Our Century is quite possibly one of the funniest ones. It's based in our world, and it's about people who build Gunpla kits and then put them on these little devices, and the Gunplas activate and then fight in a virtual reality universe sort of thing. Think Beyblades, but with Gundam.
Yeah, right.
And it's weird and it's fun and it's very kiddie. This is like the most kiddie one. But it's entertaining. A couple of seasons. There's one called SD Gundam, which is like super chibi Gundams. And they're all based in like ancient Japanese time and stuff. It's out there.
So if there's something to do, they've done it.
Yeah. And then I can't remember what universe this one's based in,
They're
but
getting into the hot girl Gundams now.
no, there's none of those, unfortunately.
Yet.
This Gundam, I can't remember it's in its own universe as well, but this one's called Iron-Blooded Orphans.
Right.
This one is, wow. This one's very adult. Like there's lots of killing,
I
blood.
was going to say even the name sounds kind of
So
dark.
essentially, this one is Earth and Mars are colonized.
Yep.
Mars is they're all miners and stuff, and they're private organizations that mine them, and they use these kids and like these orphan kids and stuff to mine, and they end up taking over and creating their own organization out of this old organization, and Earth is like, we want Mars back. We want those resources. They start trying to invade, and they're just like, they've got this one mobile suit they found. It's like an ancient thing, and it's just a fucking no guns for the first half of the series. It's just got a big fucking club that it just belts the fuck out of other mobile suits with, right. And it's just hardcore action in this one, man. It's so good. The relationships in it are really good, and I think it's on Netflix. Highly recommend Iron-Blooded Orphans. Then the only other thing I want to talk about is it's that big in Japan, they have statues.
Yes.
Which I think we've talked about before. I've seen, there's one in this place called Mega Tokyo City, which is pretty much a big shopping center. It's Koto City, Tokyo. And it used to have the RX-78 Gundam, which is the OG one. That one got pulled down and moved to another city, and it could move a bit, but that one's been pulled down again recently. It's now the RXO Unicorn, which has a big unicorn horn, and then when it transforms, it splits out into its normal V-shaped.
What do you mean by transforms?
So this one actually it powers up essentially.
Okay.
And when it powers up, it like lights up and shit. And it's
gets
normally
buff.
white. It gets buff essentially. And this one actually does that at intervals throughout the day. And at nighttime, it has like they project onto the wall of the shopping center, like backdrops and shit. Stands 19.7 meters tall. And then there's another one in Naka Hakata Ward, Fukuoka. This one stands 24.8 meters tall. It's of the FX-93. It's the largest size Gundam statue in Japan. In addition to lighting up and moving its head and arm during a performance, the Gundam is accompanied by multimedia shows that highlight the eternal struggle between the series. Then there was another one that got pulled down recently of the RX-78. Sure. But it's since been a new RX-78 has since been done up in Osaka. And it is the RX-78 and it's 17 meters tall. And it's kind of like down on one knee with its hand up.
Yeah, right.
Kind of thing, looking to the sky. And they had like all like traditional people there to bless it and all this kind of stuff. That's how important this anime is.
I think this is the one we might have spoken about.
Yeah, I think we spoke about that one. Yeah,
that was fairly recent.
Then the only other thing I want to mention about Gundam is there's a new TCG coming out. We've mentioned this. It's from Bandai. It comes out next year. Cannot fucking wait.
Money.
You know it.
I've got a challenge for him. All right, so this is AJ's hot take of the week. Watch Gundam. Quickly, off the top of your head, top 3 things about Gundam.
Giant fucking robots.
Giant fucking robots?
Giant fucking robots. Amazing storytelling in terms of the war and all that kind of stuff and the relationships between the human beings in it. And
purely based on what you've said, I would have said the amount of variety of stories.
Yeah, just the amount of different content you can go through.
Sweet.
It's 100% because you got so many different shows and universes. If you don't like that universe, fuck off to a different universe.
There's our social media clip of the week.
Boom.
Love it. All right. I've got a shit take, but it's on a different topic. Are we finished
sure.
talking
What is the topic?
I was like, do you have anything anime related to talk about?
Probably. No, I don't.
The only thing I'm going to say on anime before we move on is been watching Dan to Dan. 8 episodes, I think, on Netflix at the moment. Bonkers as fuck. Highly enjoyable. Recommend watching it.
Gone on hiatus.
Cool.
Yeah. So it's gone on hiatus until start of next year, I think, and then going to start again.
That's not that far.
Read the manga. The manga is so good. It's pretty true to the manga.
Yeah. I might have to because I'm actually waiting week to week to watch this show. I'm like, I actually want to know what's going on because this show is so bonkers, but I want to know what's happening next.
The manga's heaps so far ahead.
I want to talk about a superhero for my shit take. So hook me up with probably comics, I'd say.
Comics!
So this is my shit take of the week.
You're not going to sing it? This is my shit take of the week.
What the fuck have you
I don't need to sing it. I've got him. So
Dance, monkey, dance.
potentially a bit of a controversial opinion here, but because we've just painted Superman.
You come through with a few of these.
Yeah, that's what I bring. The vibes and the controversies.
It's okay. I've muted him.
Can't really give the shit take if I'm muted.
Oh, he really is muted.
Okay,
He's back.
Okay, so Superman, I think, is the most overrated and boring superhero out of all of them. I think every movie I've watched, I enjoy the parts around Superman. I don't enjoy Superman himself. He's boring. I'm asking you to prove or disprove this statement by saying, is he more exciting in the comics? Because I might actually read them then. That's why when we talked about the comics the other week, I brought up the Red Sun with him landing in Russia, because I think that would actually bring some dynamism and interest to Superman, because I think he's just bland, boring. There is no jeopardy. He always fucking wins. Highlighted through Man of Steel movie, where other Kryptonians come down and land and have the same powers and same strengths as he does, and gets the fuck beat out of him for about 20 minutes. He walks away without a scratch and then ends up beating them straight away. Like, there is no jeopardy.
I think you're right. I agree. He's a pretty boring character until he's put into a position where he's no longer the goody two-shoes. So I find that they're the better storylines.
Yeah, like Injustice.
Injustice, when something critical's happened to him, whether it's his parents dying, whether it's something happening to Lois or whatever, and when he gets that snap and that change, he becomes a really, really interesting character, because he's no longer that farm boy goody two-shoes who's always coming out on top and winning and doing the best thing possible. He's now just there to fuck shit up. So he becomes the antagonist.
Yeah.
Those storylines are really good. I don't think I've read a bad storyline along those lines.
But no, I agree. Superman's a shit character.
There's an animation that's come out in the last, I'll say, 12 to 18 months. I think it came out early this year. It's on Prime. It's My Adventures with Superman. That one's actually not too bad of a show, actually, because it doesn't just go, right, here's Superman, he can do everything. It's a little more about Clark Kent. And so that in itself, and going through Clark Kent, going through the reporter piece, and actually, so it's actually a pretty good show.
I've heard Smallville.
That's why Smallville is.
Yeah, I've heard
it's the best depiction of Superman, even though technically, legally, it's not a depiction of Superman.
Yeah.
And it's because it exposes far more of Clark Kent, and Clark Kent trying to also be Superman and learning what to do, what not to do, and those types of things. So it gets much more into that character development.
I started that show back in the day, but it said it happened to fall on one of my sport training nights, and I never really got to watch it.
If you want a good starting point for comic, if you're not a fan of that style of Superman, or if he's pretty much invulnerable, blah blah blah, Absolute Superman. First issue. Oh, so good. So we've spoken about this one. This one's from Snyder, not movie Snyder, comic book Snyder. And it's his new world. It's on their DC All In, it's called. There's a Batman, Absolute Superman, Absolute Wonder Woman, and next year, Absolute Green Lantern, Absolute...
I don't think he was doing Aquaman, but he might have been doing Cyborg.
Yeah, Absolute Cyborg. I think there's 3 more titles coming out next year.
Which will culminate in
essentially
the 7.
Superman in this one doesn't come to Earth as a kid. He comes to Earth as an adult. And his powers are from the sun like normal, but they're not infinite. If he uses them too much, they dissipate. And it's like something in the S has to on his chest has to charge up, and that's what gives him the powers.
So it's like a battery level, like it.
And because he didn't grow up in Kansas and all that kind of stuff, he's a very different character.
Yeah.
And Batman isn't a billionaire in this one. He's like he's a gym junkie who's from like Crime Alley, all that kind of stuff. So he's just buff as fuck. His Batwing is a metallic fucking thing that he can connect to, like a thing to, and it turns into a fucking battle axe. And Wonder Woman, instead of being raised on Themyscira with the other Amazonians and stuff, she was raised in hell, and she can summon fucking demons.
All right. I might read this one.
Snyder is an amazing writer, and he almost always just put like the best like new take on a character who's been there for so long. He did
the Twisted Metal
Yeah.
series, which is
That's it. And
he's one of
so
my
good.
favorite writers.
yeah.
And it's this all sort of got brought back up because we did paint Soups recently, and so painting it and looking at the scheme of his outfit on things like this is just boring. There's no real embellishments to the suit other than obviously the bit of yellow on his chest. So I was like, I really find him boring. Whereas Batman, probably my favorite, has that darker, edgier style, and there is always jeopardy around him because he is just mortal and just really smart and good fighter.
And that's why one of the better stories, including Superman, is where Batman just walks up, puts him on his ass and says, yeah, that's what I did to you, Superman. Fucking stay down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dark Knight, for those who haven't watched it, go watch the animated version of that, part 1, part 2. They are so fucking good.
But that's my shit take of the week.
What was it? You'll always remember the day. Oh, what's the saying? I can never remember.
You'll always remember the day that one human stood up to you, stood up to a god.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
But that's my shit take of the week, that Superman is overrated and boring.
That's fair enough. I do agree with it. I think he's probably one of the worst of the DC characters, in my opinion. There are so many more characters he's the OG. That's why he's so successful.
Exactly.
There are so many other characters that are so much better than him.
As Lisa will say, it's because Henry Cavill is Henry Cavill, and that's why she likes Superman.
See, one of my favorite, besides Harley Quinn, who is my favorite DC character because I love her comic. She's just fucking a psychopath. It's brilliant. Constantine is one of my favorite comic characters, man, or DC characters.
If I had to pick, I would always say I prefer DC, but that's only really because of Batman. Outside of Batman, I really don't know that much about DC. I'd know more. Be able to list you more Marvel characters by far. Yes, it helps the Marvel movies have sort of built up on that, but even before then, I could name more Marvel characters probably than DC.
I find that from a comics perspective, Marvel and DC head to head, they just sort of have their own thing. I think from a live action, Marvel far better. DC shit the bed pretty much. When it comes to animation, I would actually go to DC.
Yeah.
DC's animated universe. So their animated universe, they had the Batman 95 universe. So the OG Batman series, cartoon series, which was just not OG, there's many before it, but the good one, when they made it for adults but marketed to kids, that universe was one of the first times that they had an expanded universe. So in that universe, you had Justice League Unlimited, which were all connected to that. You had the New Adventures of Superman, which was in that universe. Static Shock, which was set in the future of that universe. Batman Beyond, which was in the future of that universe. There was one more, I'm pretty sure.
Titans?
There was Titans, Titans was in that universe. Then you also had, that universe has one of the best animated films ever made, Batman, Mask of Phantasm.
So good.
So good. But then you also had another you had the movie universe, which was like 20 movies. But it was like
I had a collection piece that sort of carried them all through.
Yeah.
But
there's like 20 movies and all that kind of stuff, which ends with which one was it? I think it was Justice League Dark, I think, where they have to fight someone or something, and it all ends. They're on Titan Tower Island, and John Constantine just goes over the Flash and he's like,
"Go fix it.
You got to do it, mate." And he just starts running, and then
such a good ending.
And then there's a mini movie that came out after that of John Constantine trapped in his house, floating out in the ether because of what he did, and he's being trapped there by Spectre. And then as you're watching it, the animation changes from the animation style in that movie to the new animation style of the new movie universe. And so they're all linked. And then at the end of the new movie universe, it all connects back to the old movie universe in the Infinite Crisis films. And fucking John Constantine's like been there the whole time, but he's been in the background as like an old man with beards and shit. It's so good.
Right.
So
really,
good.
really well done.
Excellent.
Yeah, I highly, highly recommend all of the animated films.
100%.
The Batman ones are all awesome. Great.
I will get onto that.
But Mask of Phantasm, the best out of all of them.
I'd say probably the only Batman animated.
For me, it's the Dark Knight. Dark Knight 1, 2.
Oh, yeah.
I think the only one I've really seen is The Killing Joke, which is sort of more Joker orientated than Batman.
It was okay. It's I think
I didn't know much about it. I just saw that it was at the movie, so I went with my mate. And
we went and watched the movies too.
It's good. I think the problem that it had.
The prequel that everyone got pissed off about because Batman fucked Batgirl.
Yeah. Oh, look, I was fine with that.
Yeah,
I was just. It was
They've done that in the comics so many times.
Exactly. It was more so that we had a story. Everyone went in to see the Killing Joke comic on screen. Like that's what everyone went in to see. So as soon as you stray from that, people are going to be upset.
I'd say, and that's probably why I didn't mind it. That like I probably rated
it. It's still good. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I think where they strayed away from it was a little bit odd.
Yep.
And they could have strayed differently, which didn't have the same impact. And I think from memory, it's been a while since I watched it, but I think the ending sort of gave a bit more of an answer than what the comic did.
Yeah.
And I think that was disappointing in my opinion, because the way that the comic's written, it's written through to a way that the way that it ends, it leaves you in a state of, well, did this happen or did that happen? And they're two polar opposites. Whereas the movie just said, this happened.
Yep.
Yeah. If they had have ended it in a way that had still maintained that polar opposite, I think it would have been far better. But in any case, read the comic. It is a brilliant comic.
I've got a lot to read, a lot to watch.
It's a trade back. It's not hard.
It is.
All right. Well, we've done your hot take, my shit take. So, have you got a hot take or a shit take?
Me, just one that I've mentioned a few times over the time that we've been doing this, and I figured, who is your king of the nerds? Who do you consider to be yours? For me, I went nice and simple, known to everybody, Mark Hamill. That for me, that's me.
Right. You're going that way.
You can go whatever
I
fucking
thought you
way
meant
you
like
want.
what nerd group is king of the nerds.
No, not a nerd group.
In which case I would have said us because, we're nerds and we're talking about nerds to the wider nerd public. So
naturally.
That makes us
But
the
no,
kings.
what I mean is who is your king of the nerds or queen, either way. Just for someone who sort of was a part, for me, it was someone who was a part of my youth and then carried through to now. Mark Hamill, Star Wars, I was exposed to very early. Luke Skywalker, he was the good guy. All the kids seen Luke, wanted to be Luke, had that resonation from there, and then he was through.
He's my Joker, baby.
Oh,
he's my Joker.
He's my Joker too, and like he went through the whole animated series. He pops up on as the Joker in so many different things.
He's in the Arkham games, isn't he?
He's in the Arkham games. He's in a couple of other video game bits and pieces that came through as it was done, and he's done far other things as well. I mean, he played the Trickster. What I didn't realize is that he actually played the Trickster in the 1990
The Flash movie.
Apparently it was a Flash TV show.
Oh yeah, it got turned into a movie because it wasn't successful.
Yeah, and then he redid it in the CW universe as the trick came back as a Trickster.
Did he in the Infinite Crisis?
No. He was a villain in Flash.
Oh, was he? I didn't watch. I watched like the first 2 seasons and gave up on that show.
So he was a villain in Flash, and
Flash was
it was just the same thing over and over again. And Flash has never really been one of my favorite characters.
It got very, very samey. I mean,
right. So even then again, I've changed my mind. So I was gonna say Henry Cavill because he sort of played some more modern day.
My answer is a very common answer. Henry Cavill's actually a pretty common answer these days.
He's leading the nerd charge and flying the flag high.
But that's what I was going to say, because he's also very public with a lot of the nerd interest, like Warhammer, that I've obviously heavily invested in, and that is a big part of my childhood.
Yep.
But yeah, so
right. Warhammer for him, comics. I know he's heavily with his comics.
And then he's played roles like The Witcher, Superman. Like he has been in a lot of those nerdier roles as well. So
and typically, when he does those roles, it's because he's got his own investment into it. Like he's heavily vested into The Witcher, heavily vested into Superman.
Was.
Well,
I mean, is in his personal time.
Listen, I am waiting to see what he does with his version of this Warhammer.
I'm waiting to see
whatever comes with that.
Reports that have come out, apparently they're already buttonhead. So
it comes out.
Yeah, we blew all the budget buying everyone a Warhammer army. So what can you do? But yeah, I'd probably say Henry Cavill then for that reason, sort of mainly because he's sort of one that is championing a lot of those sort of passions that I've had throughout my youth.
Mine is I've kind of got 2.
You can have 3 if you want.
But I mean, there's the man, the myth, the legend, Stan Lee.
Yep.
Like he is he's created so many of nerd culture's favorite IPs. It's him and Jeff Loeb,
Kirby.
Yeah, Kirby, like all that kind of stuff. But Stan the Man was he was the face that everyone knew.
He would be the face, and I said like his cameos in the Marvel movies were iconic. Like everyone was watching them at one point just to see where Stan would pop up.
Yeah, he's got a great book that I read of like his biography book, which is really good.
So what I was going to say is there's actually another book about Stan Lee that my cousin gave to me, and I'm actually pretty sure I still have it and have had it for like 4 years. It is very, very hard to read because for two reasons. The guy who wrote it, I'm just trying to find his details now, but I'll bring him up in a sec. The way he writes, he's trying to be very, I don't know if it's trying to be profound or big with all his words and everything. So it's just hard to read from that perspective. But the content is actually very hard to read as well because it paints Stan Lee in a very, very different light.
Oh, that's like the one I read. Yeah, he wasn't everything that everyone put him up to be. Exactly. Like there was a lot of behind the scenes stuff.
100%. And it talks to a lot of that behind the scenes stuff as well. So I think if this book was better written, I probably would have been able to finish it. But it was so fucking hard to read that just from the way that it was written, that it overdid how interested I was in the story itself. But I'll find it anyways. And for those who want to try and give it a crack,
But my nerd hero is by far Kevin Smith.
Yep.
He's the dude who got me into loving movies. Like I like to watch movies and stuff, but then I watched his movies and I was like, oh.
So that's a movie.
Nerds can make movies as well.
Yes.
And they can be good. And then just his love and passion for all things nerdy is just listening to the man talk about all that stuff is just fucking phenomenal. All his podcasts, like he's one of the main reasons podcasts are so successful because of all his smodcasts and all that kind of stuff. And he was one of the first sort of builders of podcasts. And yeah, he's a fantastic, fantastic person. I love everything he does.
But yeah, and as I said, it's probably thanks to guys like that and Cavill and Hamill and all those ones that are bringing nerdism into.
And Cavill's so pretty.
He really is.
Well, as I said, Cavill's probably doing a lot of the legwork at the moment. But yeah, bringing nerdism into sort of the sort of spotlight and making it more acceptable, which would be why, as you said, anime becoming more popular in America than sports is probably because before you would have had anime lovers as a small subsector and everyone else loving sports, but now those sports stars and things like that are showing interest into that anime style as well.
It's also one of the things of
and it's more accessible now.
Nerdism is becoming more popular because of Marvel and all that kind of stuff over the last 15 years. But it's also just because people are finally accepting that good stories can be told in cartoon form.
That's true too.
You don't have to have real people for it to be a good story.
Exactly.
I still know people that refuse to watch anything if it's animated.
Yep.
It's like, it's a cartoon. It's like,
yes, it is.
But it's better than 99% of the shit you fucking probably watch.
And there's less restrictions for the cartoon because it's animated, which means they can do more.
They can actually tell stories that you grew up loving, actually tell them at more accurately and more detail to how you actually wanted it to appear in your mind's eye.
Yep. It's funny because with what you were saying with the sports and anime, like overtaking sports and whatnot, there's a lot of, I've seen a bunch of stuff on social media around the showmanship and what people are doing. So if some of your key or main anime characters have a little move or something.
Stars doing
a lot of sports stars are coming out and doing like whatever the finishing move.
I mean,
or
just
the
look
little
at the
flick
fucking
in the
Naruto
tick.
run. My kid does the Naruto run. He's never seen Naruto. He doesn't know what it is, but he still does the fucking Naruto run.
Exactly. Dominic Solanke, who plays for Tottenham Hotspurs, who's one of the bigger clubs in England Premier League. After he scores goals, he's been doing a different sort of anime style. So he pulled out the what's his name? End up being revealed as Madara's, like the orange mask from Naruto. Like he wore that for a celebration. He'll do all the he said the different hand movements and things to represent different animes as a goal celebration. So
there was a basketball player. I can't remember who it was, but he came through, won the game, and he pulled out like a headband. Probably a Naruto headband or something like that. And Naruto sales for that headband fucking skyrocketed that week. So literally, there's people who it wouldn't surprise me if anime persons or people who are trying to sell this sort of shit are reaching out to these sports persons now as well.
Well, it's like that runner I was talking about. We talked about it a couple of episodes ago. He has a Yu-Gi-Oh card with him before he runs. It's like he pulls it out and kisses it and shows it the camera before he runs.
So Logan Paul had the Charizard card and the...
Yeah, it's one of the support cards. I can't remember.
Yeah, one of the support ones as a necklace for one of his WrestleMania events. But then at the same time...
it's like a $5 million card.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got like 6 of them.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, like again, League of Legends is getting into like sponsoring like or interviewing and having posts with other, like, again, I'm using soccer because I follow soccer. But yeah, there's another Tottenham player there that...
I'm sorry, do you follow soccer?
Yeah. It's funny, I'm talking about...
Who's your team?
Not Tottenham, that's for sure.
I had no idea you followed soccer.
No,
I could never tell by the shirt you wear.
That's just been a little clue for the audience that I've worn a different Liverpool shirt every week, and we can do so until I run out. But yeah, like he's been doing things with League of Legends and in the spotlight for that sort of thing. But yeah.
All right. Well, anyone got anything else they want to bring up in this episode?
Arcane is fucking fantastic.
Oh fuck yeah, it is. It is so good.
That's the
I know that you're waiting.
I know I'm up to date.
You're
wait.
Oh my god!
I tried to wait. I couldn't wait.
So I can't wait. I can't wait till we talk about it, because the teasers that I'm seeing that you guys are like, oh my god, I wonder who that is. And I'm like, I fucking know who that is. I can't fucking wait.
I know that I haven't picked up on a single fucking one of those, and I don't care because this is so fucking good.
League of Legends players will be absolutely sure we know who's in the sarcophagus that Singed had.
Sure.
That we got revealed there at the end.
Yep.
I didn't spoil anything with that comment.
I know, but other people may not have watched it. Don't be spoiling things in episodes that people may not watch. Fuck's sakes.
But there was the links in season 1 to one of the big reveal characters that we've just watched in part 2. It was heavily spoiled throughout the ends of Act 1.
What we're going to do now, no more. We're going to wait until we talk about Arcane.
I just can't fucking... It's so good.
So good. It is fucking fair. If you haven't watched it yet, go and fucking watch it.
This is an example...
We're talking about it next week. We're doing Arcane next episode.
This is an example of what AJ just said before, of people that don't watch animes or animated shows because of... it's just animated. This is the one that will prove them wrong, because it is such a good fucking story, regardless if you follow League of Legends or not. The story is gripping, it's entertaining, there's plot twist, there's drama, there's everything you want in a show.
100%.
I said, and the only thing stopping some people watching it is it's animated. You need to watch the show.
So
the reason that's Final Space for me.
So the reason that I watched this show is because I'd seen it I come across a couple times, and I'd seen it and I just sort of said, oh, it looks a bit kiddie, I won't watch it. That's purely just seeing the Arcane LOL logo or whatever the fuck it is. And then my brother recommended Troll Hunters. So I went and watched
we've talked
which
about
is fantastic. I went and watched Troll Hunters, and I'm like, fuck yeah. And then I'm like, I wonder if Arcane's the same. So I put it on. I'm like, fucking, I'm glad I fucking watched that then. So in a roundabout way. Thanks, Coop.
The first season, the first 3 episodes didn't catch me.
Oh, it got me straight away.
No, but and we've discussed that a bit before.
The first 3 episodes bored me.
That got me in because it gave me the backstory of the characters I was invested in. Where for people coming in, it was like, you needed that hook, and that hook didn't quite come to probably episode 4.
Way too slow.
So I get
should
that.
have been an episode at most, in my opinion. But yeah, second season, great. All right, that's it for this week, guys.
You have to randomize that before we go.
Oh yeah, we've got to pick a character.
And as I said, the Superman guys will be up on our socials in the coming days. We, as I said, haven't told you who's yet, and we won't reveal that till we have the winner. Vote along, share it, tell everyone to vote, and let us know your thoughts on why you've voted for who you have if you want to.
100%. And mine is the winning one, so that's the one.
I don't know. AJ's is pretty good.
All right, what do we got? No, we don't have that one.
Filling the silence with random noises.
Yes.
As always, thank you guys for listening again. Big 50 coming up in 2 weeks, so we will be working on something for that show for you all.
Yep.
But like, comment, subscribe. We've got 2 weeks to get to the 50 subscribers on YouTube, so if you haven't yet subscribed, please do that. Last time I checked, we're still in the 30, so we're only just over 10 to go.
I think Zach's about a week away from creating another 15 accounts to subscribe.
Yeah. Okay, so I've decided because this randomizer is not working, we're going to do Atrocitus.
Atrocitus.
That one.
Don't know who that is.
It's the boss of the Red Lantern.
He's the first Red Lantern.
So is he just red?
Well, he's got red in him, yes.
Okay, good. We have 34 subscribers. We need 16 more. So get your finger out, hit that button. It's free to subscribe. Doesn't cost you a thing. It takes all of 2 seconds. Get your friends, family, everyone, subscribe. You get more content from us.
Would you rather do, maybe let's do Wonder Woman. We've got Wonder Woman on a horse, riding a horse.
No, I'm happy with Atrocitus.
I'll go with Atrocitus.
All right,
I'm
we'll do
search him up
Atrocitus
now and find out who he is.
He's an awesome character.
Yeah.
When we talk about Atrocitus, we'll do something similar when we talk about Soups, and we'll talk about the character.
Yep, sounds good. All right, so make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that generic stuff that we ask you to do every week, ladies and gentlemen. And until next time, we will see you next time.
See you later.
See you guys.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to Frantic Nerdcast.
You can find all our latest news and information on Facebook or at franticnerdcast.com.
You can find us on Instagram at Frantic Nerdcast. Find AJ at Weird Art by AJ. Find Zach at Frantic Kaz and myself at Frantic Brock.
Please make sure to head over to our YouTube channel and subscribe for more YouTube-only content like Sequelize It and Plays Games.